So without further ado, James Devine.
There are no teaching jobs out there anymore. How can a performer make it in this tough economy? Talent. Now that's the most important thing to have as a musician. These are all myths that I hope to dispel by the end of this session, and it was myths that I believed as a young musician myself. Persistence is the most important skill for a musician to have. I know people who have master's degrees in performance, and they're managing a Pizza Hut. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with managing a Pizza Hut, but if you asked some of them, they'd say, oh, I'd rather be playing. It's like, dude, you play better than I do. Why aren't you playing? But they haven't learned yet that the persistence is what's going to pay off for them. And that coach told me, you need to develop a system that's going to help you to get the gigs that you would like to get. So here's the system that I came up with. First, I picked a niche. For me, the niche at that time for me was to play gospel, jazz, saxophone in churches. So I started contacting churches, and on the first contact, I would call them up, and all I would say is, hey, this is James Devine. I'm a saxophonist, and I would like to get the name of the person who's responsible for bringing music into your church. So they would give me a name, and I would say, thank you very much, and I would hang up the phone. Then once I got 20 names, then I would send out a short letter to those people, very short letter, 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, and in that letter I would say, hey, this is James Devine, I just want to get in touch with you, and I have a packet that I'd like to send you that has a CD, some more information about what I do. I will call you up in 2 weeks and see if I can send that packet out. So then I would call those people up and say, hey, did you get my letter? Great. I would like to send you the packet. And I'd send them the packet with the CD, and then follow up again a couple weeks after that and say, hey, are you ready to book me? So out of 20 people that I would call and get the name, 10 of them would say, go ahead and send me a packet. Out of those 10, one church would book me. Out of 20, one church would book me. Another 7 would say, no way. I don't know if they didn't like the CD, if they didn't like how I looked. I don't know what it was, but they said, no way, we're not interested. Another 2 or 3 would say, we're not interested right now. And I would always ask, can I call you back again in a month? And if they said yes, then I put them in a little file for the people that I needed to call back in another month. When I would call them back, some of them took 2 or 3 years of calling back monthly, and some of them would actually finally schedule me to come in for a concert. And some of them would say, so out of that 2, 1 might say yes eventually, and 1 would still say no. So my point in that is that I made a decision at one point that every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and every Thursday, I was going to make 10 new contacts. So that's 30 a week. If you multiply that out by a year, how many do you have? 1,500. 1,500 new contacts a year that I started making. But I did it one bite at a time. 10 every Tuesday, 10 every Wednesday, 10 every Thursday. It got to a point where I had to stop using that system because I had 150 gigs scheduled out for the next year. And so for a while, for about sometimes I'm talking to this group of people, and they say, there are no music jobs out there. And then I'm talking to this group of people, and they're telling me we can't find any qualified music teachers. And I'm thinking, somewhere in there, those 2 groups have to get together. Here's my challenge to you. We are creative people. That's what brought us into the music field. But that creativity goes beyond our music. It goes beyond composing music, performing music. It goes beyond being creative in your expression of music. Think outside the box and think about how, if you're having trouble finding a job or finding performing and you've instituted persistence, try to think outside the box, because somebody, and maybe somebody here in this room, might contact Simla and say, hey, I want to work out a deal with you. Maybe I can come teach music there Mondays and Tuesdays. And then maybe you can take Wednesday off. And then Thursdays and Fridays, you can teach part-time at Wassenberg. And you could still live here in Colorado Springs and maybe stay one night in those towns. And maybe I don't know the answer to this. You would have to be the one to do this. Maybe you could even convince both of those districts to give you a half-time schedule and 60% pay, and then maybe working those 4 days a week, you can make more than you would working one full-time job here in Colorado Springs. There's a trait that all of us musicians have that has a negative side to it. There's a positive side to it. That trait is perfectionism. Perfectionism makes us good at what we do. It makes us great musicians. It makes us great conductors. It makes us great composers because we want to get it exactly right and we want to get it 100% on how it's supposed to be. But sometimes that same perfectionism can freeze us into immobility. Dr. Singleton is back there like, cut, cut. This is my sunshine on a cloudy day. My granddaughter, Arabella. Who's heard this song before? Anyone heard this before? Did you notice any mistakes in it? Okay, I'm going to help guide you in a minute with the mistakes. Okay, listen to this trumpet lick. Can everybody hear the tuning on that top trumpet note? Like I said, it's not like middle school band tuning. You know, I used to teach beginning band, and when I was at the Colorado Springs School, and some of my coworkers said, James, you're a saint. And I said, what are you talking about? They're like, how can you're a professional musician, how can you teach beginning band and listen to that? I said, they sound pretty good. You know, I don't hear anything bad. And I think it was a gift that I was able to see what they would sound like someday. Because once I took myself out of that by several years and went back and listened to some of those recordings and I didn't know who the kids were anymore, I was like, some of them come on the show and they're kind of like this. I've been waiting for this day forever since I was 2 years old. I've been taking voice lessons. I've been studying acting. I've been having a coach who helped me with my singing. And just to get here to this moment to audition for American Idol. And then they say something like, if I don't make it through this next round, I don't know what, this is it. I don't know what my life's going to hold. Dude, you're 16 years old. Get over it. But they have put all of what they're trying to do in one thing. All of their eggs are in one basket. All of their hopes, all of their dreams are in one thing. And when they do that, then it leaves you without much hope in life. You can't put all your eggs in one basket, because if you do that, then your dreams will be dashed and there'll be no hope. So be persistent, have perseverance, use more than one idea. Keep on doing. Find something that you're going to try and give it a try. Maybe 10 things a day that you're going to do to further your career.